Welcome friends, welcome to Physics in 20 minutes. In this video we are going to talk about relative motion. We will talk about relative velocity in one dimension and relative velocity in two or three dimensions. So what is relative velocity? Let's consider a moving car with some velocity. The velocity of the car observed by an observer on the earth will be different from the velocity of the same car as observed by somebody else moving in another car in opposite direction. The velocity observed by an observer is called velocity relative to that observer, or simply relative velocity. But who is an observer? An observer is nothing but a frame of reference. What exactly is frame of reference? A frame of reference has a set of coordinate axes to measure the positions where the scales are defined. So it could be in meter, centimeter, etc. Also, it has a clock to measure the time. There can be more than one observers, so we assume that the time progresses for all the observers in the same way. So let's talk about relative velocity in one dimension. Suppose we have an observer who is at rest with respect to the ground surface. Since we are considering just one dimension, we will consider only one axis, that is x-axis. Let this observer be called observer A. Let's take another observer moving along the x-axis with the velocity VBA. Here VBA means velocity of observer B with respect to A. This observer is moving again along the same axis, but the observer B can move in either way. It can either move along the forward direction, positive x-axis, or it can move along negative x-axis. So right now we will assume it to be moving along the positive x-axis. Let us consider a particle P on x-axis. How will the position of particle P be described by these two observers A and B, which are at rest and moving respectively? So let's see how do they describe the positions. So the position of the particle P with respect to observer A is going to be this distance between the origin marked for A and the position of the particle at P. We will call this distance as xp comma A, which means the position of particle P as measured by observer A, or with respect to observer A. The position of the particle P with respect to observer B would be this distance, which can be marked as xpb. That means the position of particle P with respect to observer B. Obviously, the position of observer B with respect to observer A is this distance, which we can mark as xb comma A, which means position of observer B with respect to observer A. So what is the relation between these three parameters, xba, xpb and xpa? So one can easily see from the geometry that this distance is the sum of the other two distances. So we can always write xpa is equal to xpb plus xba. So now let's try to get relative velocity in one dimension. If we take derivative of this equation with respect to time, then we will get the velocity terms. So dxpa by dt is equal to dxpb by dt plus dxba by dt. The time derivative of position of particle P with respect to A will give me the velocity of particle P with respect to A. The time derivative of position of particle P with respect to B will give me the velocity of particle P with respect to B, and the time derivative of position of observer B with respect to A will give me the velocity of observer B with respect to A. So velocity of p with respect to A is equal to velocity of p with respect to B plus velocity of B with respect to A. It is obvious that the velocity of two frame of references will be opposite as viewed by each other. So velocity of B with respect to A is equal to minus velocity of A with respect to B. Let's take an example to understand the concepts. A train is moving with the speed of 15 meter per second. A person in the train is walking with 2 meter per second with respect to train in the direction of motion of train. What is the speed of the person relative to a stationary observer on the ground, a stationary observer in another train running parallel but in opposite direction with the same speed as that of the first train? Will it change after another train has passed? If you want to solve the problem on your own, you can pause the video, solve the problem, then come back and check the solution. Here is the solution. We can write the velocity equation. The velocity equation is Vpa is equal to Vpb plus Vba. So let us see what is the particle and what are the observers A and B in this case. Our stationary frame of reference here is the ground frame, while our moving frame of reference here is the moving train. The person is like a particle here. So Vp ground is equal to Vp train plus V train ground. Velocity of the person with respect to train is 2 meter per second. Velocity of train with respect to ground is 15 meter per second. Therefore, velocity of person with respect to ground will be 2 plus 15, which is 17 meter per second. In the second problem, our moving frame is the another train which is moving with the same speed but in opposite direction. So we can rewrite the velocity equation like this: Vp ground is equal to velocity of person with respect to second train or train 2 plus velocity of train 2 with respect to ground. We anyway know that Vp ground is 17 meter per second. 17 is equal to Vp train 2 plus V train 2 ground, which is 15. But why do we write it as minus 15? Simple, the other train is moving in opposite direction, so it is minus 15. So that will give me the velocity of the person with respect to second train as 32 meter per second. Even if the train passes by, the relative velocity will not change. Now let's find out relative velocity in 2 or 3 dimensions. Let's have our rest frame, which is A frame. Let's have our moving frame, which is the B frame, which is moving with the velocity V with respect to frame A. Let's have a particle P. Its position from frame A can be described by drawing a position vector. Position vector can be written as vector R, P, A, which means position of particle P with respect to observer A. Similarly, the position of particle P with respect to observer B can be written as vector PB. The position of observer B with respect to observer A can be written as vector RBA. Now these three position vectors form a triangle, and from the geometry it is very clear that this long side is the sum of two other sides vectorially. So we can write vector RPA is equal to vector RPB plus vector RBA. If we take the derivative with respect to time, we will get velocities. So velocity of particle P in A frame is equal to velocity of particle P in B frame plus velocity of B frame with respect to A. This equation is called Galilean velocity transformation equation. And again, the velocity of the two frames as seen from each other is negative of each other. Vector VBA is equal to minus of vector AB. Let's take another example to understand the concepts. An airplane is moving through the air at 240 km per hour towards north. If there is a 100 km per hour wind from the west to east, what is the velocity of the airplane relative to the earth? If you want to take a pause and solve this problem on your own, please do that. Come back and check the solution. Here goes the solution. So let us write down what data is given along with the direction. So velocity of plane with respect to air is given as 240 km per hour and its direction is towards north. So we write down speed here and direction here. What is 100 km per hour? So it is the speed of the wind or air, velocity of air with respect to earth. It is 100 km per hour and it is towards east. We have to find out the velocity of plane with respect to earth. So we don't know what is its magnitude. We also don't know what is its direction. So how do we solve it? Let's draw a vector diagram to understand the situation. Plane is flying due north, so it can be shown by a vector which is pointing upward and its magnitude is v plane air. Wind is blowing towards east side, so we can show it by drawing another vector and the magnitude is v air earth. We have to find out velocity of the plane relative to earth. So you can see the plane, although is flying towards north, because of the wind the plane will drift to its right towards east and it will follow this kind of path. So the third side of the triangle gives the velocity of plane with respect to earth. Since it's a right angled triangle, the Pythagoras theorem will apply. So v plane earth is equal to under root v plane air square plus v air earth square. If you put the values and solve, we get it as 260 km per hour. Angle by which the plane will drift can be obtained by tan inverse of v air earth upon v plane air, that is tan inverse of side opposite upon side adjacent. That gives us 22.6 degrees east of north. In previous example, if the airplane flies in such a way that it keeps moving towards north without drifting, then what should be its velocity with respect to earth? So solution is very straightforward. Again, let us write down the quantities and the directions. So here are they. Velocity of plane with respect to air is 240 km per hour, but now the direction is not known. Velocity of air with respect to earth is 100 km per hour. It is towards east. Velocity of plane with respect to earth is not known, but we know that it should move always towards north. So the direction is towards north. So again, we can represent our physical situation in geometrical terms. We know that the velocity of plane with respect to earth should be pointing towards north. So this vector will point towards the north direction. Wind is blowing to the east, so velocity of air with respect to earth is towards east. Obviously, if you want the plane to keep moving in the straight direction, the plane must fly somewhere towards this, so that the air will drift it back to the forward path. So the third side of the triangle represents the velocity of plane with respect to air. If you look at the vector triangle, then sum of this side plus this side will give me the third side. Therefore, velocity of plane with respect to earth is equal to velocity of plane with respect to air plus velocity of air with respect to earth. Again, it's a right angle triangle, so we can apply Pythagoras theorem and we can obtain the velocity of the plane with respect to earth as 218 km per hour. The angle alpha which the plane must take towards west can be determined by using the ratio sine inverse v air earth upon v plane air, which is sine inverse of 100 by 240, which is 25 degrees. This angle is to the west of north. We have some review questions. Please go through them. Thank you.